Folks, welcome to Speedbump. We have a new game for January here that we're going to see about setting records in, or at least racing a bit for January. Checking out some strategies, see what we can do. Off the Blues, you picked it. You ready to read this thing?
Yeah, hit me with it.
I basically just grabbed their description, so yeah, here we go. If this still works, let's see.
Yeah, nice logo. Now, our game this month is Psycutlery by Luke Tarlow. What is this? It's a spoon, and yet it's also a fork. Or is it either? It's a video game type thing developed by Luke Tarlow, formerly known as Thunder Dragon, a console-style platformer with an action-adventure feel, complete with an expansive storyline featuring multifaceted characters across a widely varied world. Each new level is completely unique from the last, with an emphasis on variety through the constant introduction of new gimmicks and ways to play. Psycutlery is a game that prompts the question, what's next? Take control of Lillian the alien and her mind-controlled spork that you can name. Grab things, throw things, eat things, jump in midair up to 5 times, bring down an incomprehensible abomination of evil with a single piece of silverware, plus around 30 different power-ups, and witness copious craziness unfold across planet Geozaic.
We have 4 racers for this. So you said this was a sequel of some sort, maybe?
Not exactly. So about 10 years ago, this same developer came up with Psycho Waluigi, which was a PC game that featured Waluigi who had psychic powers, who could like move items around and interact with the world. But obviously that couldn't be like a commercial release because it was Waluigi. But it's well loved. And this is basically what if they made an actual game out of it.
We'll be grabbing Okami's audio at the moment, so they are cleared to start whenever.
I'm going to give them one last nudge to remind them I did tell them what settings they could use. I told them for the purposes of this race, they could have full health and skip all the cutscenes. So a quick reminder to them about that, making sure they're setting that up right now. And I'll give them the countdown. We're giving them 30 minutes on the clock, just to see how far they get. This is not a short game, so we will not see any clears, but we just kind of want to see what we have in front of us.
Yep, 30 minutes is on the clock.
Yes, this is on itch. It's free, as far as I'm aware. Of course, you should support the dev if you can. The dev has been working on this off and on for the past 10 years, according to them, so definitely worth your time.
Nice spork circle. And spork ship.
Now, I have played Psycho Waluigi. I played it a long time ago. It's actually really popular in the mystery racing scene. That's how I became aware of it, is being asked to race it over and over as just a blind race, and repeatedly less blind races. But I haven't played this one yet. I just saw it came out, and I thought it would be a really good fit for Speedbump, just because Psycho Waluigi, the original, was such a beloved mystery game when it first came out, so I thought this would probably be a great fit.
Tearing through with the... So you pick up and throw.
Yeah, so
one of
your
many
spork
attacks.
allows you to interact around you. You can pick up objects and throw them.
Controller recommended for this game. I saw those notes. I didn't include them, but looks like Subwoofer's binding theirs now.
So I proposed to Smite that we maybe take this as an opportunity to get back to our roots and see what people are thinking about it. If people enjoy this, we're gonna be trying to do this for the whole month. So at the end of the month, we'll do perhaps just a race format. I don't think we're necessarily going to base the month around the world record grind, but we're interested in seeing what people come up with along the way. So after this race, if people do decide to do some runs of it to see it through to the end and put up some times, me and Smite will at least keep an eye on it. Whether or not that means we watch the whole run remains to be seen, if it turns out to be fairly long. But if the whole game does turn out to be fairly long, then our race format will probably be shorter, like beat the first 2 or 3 worlds or something like that.
You ever eat half of a watermelon rind? And then the other
I've never
half?
eaten any watermelon rind, but you can pickle watermelon rind. Have you ever had pickled watermelon rind?
I haven't. I just did something similar with pumpkin recently. I mean, I didn't eat the rind, but I carved around it and baked it and stuff. We did that to make some pumpkin cookies.
Nice.
We saved
For
like
the purposes of this,
$20
Go ahead.
because we got like 100 and something ounces of pumpkin, which is like 4 cans of $3 of pumpkin mix at the store. But ours was fresh.
That's a lot of pumpkin.
What were you saying? Right, pumpkin.
I was just gonna say at the beginning of the race, you probably saw, but I encouraged our players to go ahead and set the most favorable options. So by default, you only have 4 hit points, but we gave them 6. We just want to see as much of the game as we can. So deaths don't help a whole lot with that. That may not be the format we do for the final race, but for today, we wanted to see as much as we could.
So this is the final evolution of Panic Restaurant.
It's been so long since I played Panic Restaurant. That was such a good game. That better not make it onto your worst games list.
I'm a fan.
Good.
Even Plock didn't make it. I had to put a divider line in. Because people kept coming in and like, 7th Saga, how dare you? And I'm like, no, it's at the bottom of the list, you see. It's the worst games list. So if it's at the bottom, that means it's the least bad. Okay, well, fine. I'm just gonna put a line in that says, no, it didn't qualify. It's below the line. Is that more clear?
Well, I'm kind of sad you didn't put Bubsy below the line, but I accept whatever.
I haven't played that yet. And I think I would put Bubsy below the line. Bubsy 1 at least. Maybe. It depends on how I feel when I go through the later stages. But I feel like if you take it methodically, it actually makes sense as a game a little bit better.
Right.
Since you have camera controls and all. You play it like Spelunky, a game which you have yet to play. What the heck? And you take a look around every time you do any jumps and stuff. You don't just go in and then you can beat that game. Yeah. That's how it's meant to be played, I guess. Even though it's a Sonic game. It works. Otherwise, you get hit in the head with cheese. Some creepy eyeballs staring at dude. Oh, okay, now they're chasing him.
Just normal stuff.
Yeah. Spork Adventures.
I really should play Spelunky one of these days. I just feel like as soon as I play Spelunky, I've got to like play Spelunky 2 and then go for, what is it, the 99 levels of the cosmic ocean, whatever.
Not only should you do that, but I'll join you in co-op on it and we can have a better shot. Because the primary issue is the instant death on, you make it to level like 60 and you die instantly.
Right.
Yeah, you don't really have to play Spelunky 2. I would say it's a worse game, but it was like built for professional Spelunky players and no one else.
Right.
Which includes me, I guess, but I don't really like it. I'm no speedrunner, I just beat the game a bunch. Yeah, Spelunky Classic.
Is Spelunky Classic different from Spelunky 1?
Spelunky HD is maybe what you're thinking of when you think of Spelunky 1, which is a remake of the Classic, which is kind of like the original La Milana or the original Celeste, comparatively.
Was it like a Pico 8 game or something?
It's not unsimilar from that. I don't know if it was actually on the Pico 8, but it looks like that kind of graphics. It's much simpler, but it has a lot of the same mechanics. It's complicated. I don't know if it's on such a simple system as that, because it still has some of the same rules. Like a shopkeeper who, if you rob, he tries to shoot you in the head. That's a thing in the original, I think, so.
Makes sense.
And it's free, yeah, it's a freeware game. I don't know what the heck system it was on, just DOS, I guess? People are saying just DOS? I've never played it, I just have seen it. But why would you play it when HD exists? Is what almost everyone has told me, so. I just don't. We're dealing with laser beams. I think Okami is in the lead. That's a pretty common occurrence on these mystery games for Okami to be up there.
Okami's got a lot of mystery racing experience, which that is definitely a very real skill set. It is hard to compete with people who regularly do mystery races and are good at them.
Yeah. They didn't win the Mega Man race. I don't know that they're super familiar with Mega Man, but they did like barely lose it. And they were up against Pink Kitty Rose, who is I remember their racing videos around the time I started, which was like 12 years ago at this point.
Right.
And they were racing Mega Man, and they do a lot of damage shuffler and stuff, so they're pretty familiar with that category. I think 46 Robot Masters.
And Okami still kept up with that.
Yeah, they almost won against Pink Kitty Rose. They were like a boss or two behind at the end of it. That's pretty impressive. They had done that in around 2 hours and some change, which is a pretty dang good time for somebody who's not like speedrunning, clipping through walls and stuff. It's to save every second, you know. Mega Man's big on those. For speedrunning, you can just warp through the walls down nearly every one of them. So that's if you don't know how to do that, you've automatically lost like 10 minutes right there. So that's where that time goes. The spork box. The big spork.
Going to join the big spork in the sky.
All right. This game is looking pretty sick. It's got weird indie vibes. It looks like a game unlike anything you've ever played, even though it's a platformer of sort. And it's got all this strange art that's going on.
It's it's so strange to me because I mean, I'm not judgmental toward games with more amateur art, but like it simultaneously feels like a very polished professional thing and a very amateur thing at the same time, and I really like that.
It's got I've played a couple games like this. I can't remember the one, but there's one that looks like it was drawn with crayons, and it's a space fighting game, and it's like some little kid's driving a spaceship and she's fighting monsters, and then she steals from their ship, and it's just really weird, but the art is really good, just like this. It's just drawn in a way that's like childish on purpose.
Right.
This one's a little creepy, to be honest. it's out there in just the right way to make it look like a dream. I think that Okami needs to use the platform here, maybe, or something like that. Yeah. They were trying to shortcut it, maybe. This door is boss locked. You can take the fellow with you through the door? Yes. Yes, you can. So what are our other power-ups? I've seen the flamethrower.
I'm not sure. It lists it boasts a very large number of them, though. I've only seen a few in this race, but I imagine if we haven't seen them all, then this game might have a lot more meat on its bones than maybe we expect.
The primary mechanic is throwing fellas at fellas. Like Wario, but with a flying, like, sword, almost. With
there's this one on Gaffadil's screen that's throwing your own cloud platforms.
Look at that frog, bottom right. It's hard to tell.
It's not. So you can't just fly like Kirby. You get 5 additional jumps in midair. So I guess like early Kirby, where you had a few jumps and then you fluttered back down.
It's Smash Brothers Kirby.
Yeah. Well, we kind of went into this one blind even on our end. You trusted me, and I'm basing this off of, or I based my interest in it off of being very impressed by Psycho Waluigi like 10 years ago. And I'm genuinely impressed that it lives up to my expectations. This looks extremely good and really polished gameplay.
Okami has another spork. I think they might be on the 3rd level based on what I'm seeing, but I'm not sure about that.
Right. Yeah, I haven't followed exactly where all the level transitions have been, so I haven't been counting them very well.
I don't know if it's a linear game either. I'm under the impression that it is. But it's kind of hard to track progress because everything's so varied looking.
Yeah, I believe it is a linear game in the sense that you mean, yeah.
A lot of enemies have to be killed to open some doors, but it looks like boulders go through, and the flamethrower certainly is a good weapon for them. I don't know what the rules are in carrying that around. I'm trying to figure out what you can do to speed things up in the future.
Yeah, I mean, as per usual, just knowing where the game expects you to go is going to be a huge boon, but also a lot of these mechanics I'm kind of interested in seeing whether or not you can skip anything by just saving and abusing the correct power-ups. With a game that has this many power-ups, it's kind of an interesting thought of like, can I bring a power-up from one stage into a stage that isn't expecting me to have it? That cloud platform, for instance, if you found yourself in a highly vertical level that did not expect you to have those cloud platforms, would that just break the level?
It sure is looking like you can skip a lot of enemies if you want to.
Yeah, combat seems largely optional.
Only once in a while are there boss gates, sort of. Dude has opened a spork box. I think that dude is now on the same level that Okami is wrapping up.
That seems correct, yeah.
I'm trying to get a sense for where all the players are at this point. Okami has opened the top right gate.
Okay, so it's like a Kirby hub, like Kirby's Adventure hub.
Yeah, they might have a couple level select options here.
That'd be really interesting if that turned out to be the case. Like, you don't actually have to do every level in every hub.
Some kind of home base is where Okami has gone. Leads to a stage in the basement. Subwoofers is wrapping a stage up. Looks like that might be their first. Gaffadil has the spork.
I kind of expected Okami would maybe have an advantage here just because Okami has spent, you know, all these years in the same mystery racing circles that I have, so I figured, you know, anyone who's been in that scene has probably played Psycho Waluigi at least once.
So Gaffadil is starting level 4, which Okami is on as well, but they picked a different one for sure. They went to the berry boss.
So we are seeing a different level order.
Yeah, Okami went in the top right to Home Sweet Home, and Gaffadil went into the top right and picked a stage that is called Berry Boss instead. And it's going maybe to a boss fight.
Okay.
Got a full heal right here, so I expect maybe a boss is showing up.
It does look like a boss is showing up, yep.
The Berry Boss. You have to grab the turnips off the beanstalk or something like that to have ammo. Looks like you can do chip damage with your spork if you want to, and you can get some big ammo on the way if you hit them 3 times. Otherwise, it's tiny shots all the way down the line. The berry boss is dead. Meanwhile, we started a new
made
boss.
that look easy.
Okami's on some other.
Looks like a doppelganger fight almost.
Spork Wars. They have the mystery power.
Maybe it's just like it does a random thing every time you use it. Yeah, it looks like it.
It's throwing a
Looks
bunch
like
of
it's just
junk.
spitting out random crap.
The kitchen sink. Oh, I was wrong. The Berry Boss Ultra is here.
Ultra Berry Boss DX. Wonder if this is just like a optional hard mode refight.
It is also defeated.
Okay, well, it's not that hard then.
It is Okami's turn to do that same thing. There's probably 2 or 3 levels in each zone. It looked like 5 silver sporks is what is the limit right now. It started at 3, I noticed. And then it's at 3, it opened up the door to the top right, and then it went up to 5. And there's also in the bottom right golden ones, which maybe indicate like a perfect run or something. I don't know about those. No one has any of those yet, as far as I've seen.
Either that or maybe like optional objectives in each level. Well, if we've got some interesting routing options, this seems like a prime candidate for a month-long speed bump. So I'm pretty excited about. Hopefully players latch onto this and are excited because it's. I think it's very cool.
Okami's got the moves down already. Seems like it's definitely worth picking up the fellas over just mashing the spook, because it just doesn't do as much damage. That's just phase 2. Ultra Berry Boss DX is just phase 2. Oh, you can't even hit him with the spork anymore. Phase 2 doesn't care.
I mean, he's new and improved. You think he's just gonna fall for the same old tricks?
He's spork immune. Okami is not letting a single piece of ammo go by.
Okami has let a single piece of ammo go by.
Oh, that one was immune to spork too.
You had to throw your ammo at the other ammo.
Ultra Berry Boss DX is down twice. It looked like
I'd be
subwoofers had
embarrassed to
a
show my
blob.
face around here again.
power up for subwoofers with some kind of blob escort. They have beaten 2 stages now. Okami has cleared 5, so with that, we'll see where they go now.
Okami letting the cutscene dictate his progress.
These guys are tough. Frankstone Quarry. Donkey Kong Country naming scheme. Seems like there's lots of fellas to talk to. And it's boss time for Gaffadil as well. This is going to be their 5th. They're pretty close to Okami in progress. And their mystery bag is full of goodies. They're nearly dead though. Oh no! What a throw. What a throw. Checkpoints right before the boss. I don't imagine there's a game over situation.
From a casual play perspective, I really like that the continue screen allows you to change your max life if you'd like to make it easier or harder or whatever.
Yeah. I don't see any reason why a speedrun would not just have max. If the only difference is just how much HP you have, I would imagine that there won't even be a category where you're just like, nah, I'll just have 3 HP actually. That's just gonna slow things down, right?
Yeah, I tried to tell them what settings I figured a standard leaderboard would choose. And it seems to me that most leaderboards would probably just say set it to max.
Yeah, because that's more damage boosting, it's less need for perfection.
Right.
It's gonna be a faster time no matter how you slice it.
Looks like Gaffadil actually didn't have to redo the damage. It looked like continuing the boss might have resumed from the amount of damage you had already dealt, which is kind of interesting.
They're also going to be joining Okami in Bounce Land here. The Bounce Pool.
Yeah, the question we'd have to figure out is what earns you those gold sporks and what do they do? If there's some benefit to earning the gold sporks and the gold sporks are earned by something like not taking damage in a level, then that does change things.
Okami's got a power card, Water Balloon, and I'm waiting to see what it is. I haven't seen it. They're saving it. Just eating cheese bigger than me. The dream.
Our players have just a little less than 5 minutes to go. And we haven't even made it out of the first hub. So, you know, whatever race we do, whatever challenge we do, probably won't be more than the first handful of worlds, I would imagine. We were warned that the, you know, the itch description for this game was proud to say that this is a full-length game. This is not just a tech demo, so might be a little lengthy for our standard speedrun.
Love to see it.
How similar is this? So in Psycho Waluigi, you just had like a targeting reticule, if I remember correctly, that you could use to pick up things and interact with them. So like from a control perspective, it's fairly similar. But I remember that game being quite a bit simpler. I haven't played it in almost 10 years, but I remember it being quite a bit simpler.
So I'm thinking the current leaderboard is Okami in first, Gaffadil really close behind. Dude is only 1 stage behind them, and Subwoofers is in the back. They are on stage 4, I believe. I think Okami's on 6 or 7, and Gaffadil's right there with them. I think they're both on 7 now. Dude's on 5, maybe 6. So it's got a level select in the same form as Kirby is a good example, I think, where there's a bunch of doors, though Kirby usually unlocks them in order. It would be more like if the doors were all already open. You could just pick a stage, but you had to do them all.
Right.
That's what it seems to be.
Yeah, I don't know enough to know whether or not there's any way to skip stages. Perhaps if we knew how you earned those extra sporks, maybe you could skip a level by getting more than one on a single.
Yeah, if the gold ones count the same as silver or something, you can just get 2 in one stage. That might be a big change. You could skip the long ones, go straight for the boss fight stage, maybe. Just like, what if you did that damageless or something? Maybe you get a bonus free star.
Well, we have some questions that need answering. It's been a little while since we've done this format for Speedbump, but keep in mind, you know, if you're interested in contributing, participating in Speedbump, it's not just about putting up times and participating in the races. Sometimes one of the best ways people have participated and contributed is by helping gather the information necessary for us to put together some great runs. So, you know, if you're interested, if this game looks like a little bit of fun, you might consider checking it out and seeing if you can science some of this stuff.
Yeah, on that note, we don't have the speedbump.run site anymore. It was pretty expensive to maintain that domain, so I dropped it. But we do have, well, Darkman's got the good site right now, where all the data is. Honestly, it's better organized than what I had. I had a really flashy little bunch of WordPress stuff that themed, but it was not anything special for data management. And that site, Darkman is running, kind of is. It shows everything we've done.
Daffodil just had a really interesting thing happen to her. She threw an object into the air and ran into it, and it seems to me, I may have not seen correctly, but it seems to me that reset the 5 jump counter. I wonder if you could infinitely fly by throwing something, running into it, and re-grabbing it to reset the 5 jump counter.
Darkman, do you mind if I add that to my command there? Cool. I'm gonna amend the Speedbump command to have 2 links in it. All right.
Well, I think that's our race.
Yep, time is up. Nice work, everybody. That looked cool. I might give this a run myself, see how long it actually is. Probably looking at like an 8-hour game if I had to guess, based on what I've seen and the number of achievements that are missing on that page there. But this game is free, I think, and if you want, you can drop $1 or $2 for the devs, or as much as you want, really. That's the Itch Dream. Love that site.
Yeah, despite how polished this game is and how long it took to develop, the game is, to my knowledge, released for free, which, you know, obviously don't support just to take pity, but, you know, this is pretty impressive stuff. So if you do consider supporting the dev, I think this is probably one that's definitely worth it. So.
Yep. So Okami has 8 clears, I think that's right, or they reached level 8, and Gaffadil, I think, reached 7. And I'm thinking Dude was 6, and Subwoofers was 5. They had to be 5. They were in the second area. 5 or 6 for them as well. That was the loadout for our clears in 30 minutes. Not bad. You know, if they made it that far in 30 minutes, I don't know how many worlds are in this, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how many hubs there are. If the levels can get completed faster, then maybe the whole game is possible. But if not, we'll set a shorter goal for the race that we'll do in what, 3 weeks time, 4 weeks time,
Sure.
3 weeks time.
We'll take a look at content. Next week we'll do a mystery race, and then in 2 weeks we'll circle back to this, I think, and see
Okay.
what's see if anything's developed. And if I run it myself, I'll have a lot to say. I might. Magfest is in my way a little bit that week, so we'll see.
Sure.
Yep. Hey, have a good one off the blues. Thanks for joining me.
You too. Later.